I don't like bullies. I don't care where they're from.
I like how you do that.
Welcome to Source to Screen, a podcast where we talk about live action adaptations from their source material. I am your host, Gamer Complainer, and I'm here with the horse, Probesinator. He's coming up the line. He's coming up. He's going
I'm not
first.
a horse.
It's nose
I'm
to
not a
nose.
horse.
Oh, and he
wins
it.
I'm not a horse. That was a joke from 2 episodes ago. It's dead. I'm
no,
not a horse.
I'm still laughing about it.
So, this is not the Punisher episode that I thought we'd be doing this week and hoped to be doing this week, because it turns out Justice League came out 2 days ago and I had no idea.
Dude, there was a sleeper. Who the fuck releases a movie in November that big? Wait, was it supposed to be in the summer? I feel like they pushed it back, right?
These movies take a while. Like, Batman vs. Superman took 3 years to make. This one was at the last 2 Comic-Cons. So that's how I rank them, by how long they're there at Comic-Con.
But I swear it had a release date in August. That's why I was confused. But maybe because Zack Snyder quit and they had to do reshoots, they pushed it?
I imagine. That makes sense. I didn't read anything about it, so they must have been pretty good about their press for once.
I swear, like 2 Comic-Cons ago.
I think I remember August. Yeah. 2 Comic-Cons ago, it was like
end of August.
Do it. Yeah. But stuff happens.
Yeah,
so,
sorry, Zack Snyder.
We are super prepared for this episode.
That's a damn line, you know it.
Yes, I have only read a couple comics. You've been a little better than me on this episode. I was not ready. Although we will be uploading Suicide Squad as of now-ish.
Yeah, tonight, tomorrow.
Yeah. And then, yeah. So, yeah, good stuff all coming around. We're on top. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, what are your expectations?
Well, everyone's told me they're 2 cents. So, I'm expecting a very mixed movie of tones between Joss Whedon's directed and who's the other guy?
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder, yeah.
Josh Snyder. Zack Whedon.
Yeah.
Schneiden.
I've seen some clips on YouTube of just like some of the writing, and I definitely feel Whedon in there in some parts, and I'm like, oh, that's good. For once, I'm like on board, but there's still the Zack Snyder. I'm rich.
Is it
you
good,
gotta
though?
talk to fish. I mean, I've seen some lines, like one with Batman specifically.
Like, what is he doing?
Like, in the scene, he's talking to Batman, or he's talking to Alfred. Batman is talking to Batman. Batman's talking to Alfred on how, like, Superman's just a better person, like a better superhero. And then Alfred's like, come on, you're great. Trying to give him a pep talk. He's like, he's more human than I am, and he was an alien. And he's like, yeah, he was more human. You're kind of an asshole. And it was just kind of like...
he had parents.
Yeah, he had parents.
Both parents.
Yeah. Parents.
Not having your parents will make you inhuman.
Yeah.
Or cold and unfeeling.
Yeah.
But Batman still gets chicks. That's what's funny. Superman just gets one chick. The same chick.
Well, yeah, it's because he didn't have mommy issues. Batman has mommy issues, too. Everyone says he has daddy issues, but don't forget the mommy issues.
Batman loves his ladies.
Mm-hmm. So, what are you expecting besides the return of Superman? By the way, that's not a spoiler. I mean, if it wasn't spoiled by the Batman vs. Superman,
Dude.
Superman's coming back, like 1,000,000%.
Dude, why did you do that?
Because it's spoiled in Batman vs. Superman. You see the dirt rising off his grave.
Dude.
If anyone didn't expect that,
why did you do that?
they are morons.
Chris.
Get on the car.
What?
I
don't know. I expect it to be like a 30% out of 100%. It looks like they don't know what they want because, number one, it's 2 totally different directors, and one of them started directing 3/4 of the way through. So it's going to feel like 2 totally different movies at different parts of the movie. I think it'll be... The action scenes don't even look like interesting.
No, and they don't look practical. While like in Avengers 1, you had everyone had a very specific role, and it looked like their team was like working together. That was really unique all around New York City, as opposed to whatever is going on here. Aquaman's just jumping off a car and killing one parademon. I'm like, that doesn't really accomplish a whole lot. Or like he skydives one into a building. Did you see that?
Dude,
I'm just like, that's one guy. Captain America takes out like 50 demons like a minute.
I was about to say that. What I like about Captain America is, like you said, his fighting style is very practical, and it's not a lot of CGI. This just looks like
All
CGI overload. And what's ironic as well is, you know why they make these movies? One of the reasons why they make these movies look really dark?
Because the effects aren't done rendering.
Yeah, so they don't have to like render bright looking colorful effects. It saves them a shit ton of time from doing that. But it's like I said before, I don't know any of these characters. How can I care that they're in like peril? I mean, honestly, Wonder Woman's the only one that I'm like, oh, what's going to happen with her?
When we know DC can't afford to have her be in any legitimate danger. She's not going to die or...
Exactly. So,
at worst, maybe she'll be warped to a dimension or something. I can hope for that.
I don't think she will. And then we already know Superman's coming back. They should have done a Man of Steel 2 before they jumped to Justice League.
Yeah, Doomsday. Oh, I guess we don't know how Superman's coming back, but if you look on the internet, you can find out in about 10 seconds. You think he's going to have the black suit?
No.
I think he's going to have a suit that looks torn.
Different.
I think it's going to look...
Superman.
Oh, no. No, they have Bizarro. Bizarro, that'd be great. I think we're going to see, like, I'm pretty sure they buried him in the Superman costume. And I'm pretty sure it's just going to be, like, grayed out, but it's not going to be black. Like, it's going to look dirty. Like, really, like, muted. Yeah. More muted than it is
More muted
currently.
Than the actual desaturation
of the film. Yeah.
I just thought of something really funny when you said that. I think it'd be funny if I was, like, buried in a clown outfit and people came to find me and they're just really confused.
Yeah, like, on an open casket, they're like...
Or just as, like, a furry, and they're like...
Why is she dressed like a furry?
Was she like an animal, or was she just...
I'd probably be buried in a Spider-Man outfit, 100%.
See, then they'll think Spider-Man's real.
Well, it was real. Yeah. All right. So, I'm looking forward to see Jeremy Irons and J.K. Simmons as, respectively, Alfred and Commissioner Gordon. I think... They said 7, right? They said unite the 7. So there's going to be one more Justice League member, aside from Superman joining. Right?
Well, that would have been Green Lantern. But
who the fuck
they ballsed that up.
Maybe. I have no idea. Well, only one way to find out, and that is by going to watch this amazing film. And we'll see where it takes its sources from after the commercial break. Which we've already
like
read.
3 days.
Yeah,
so that we can read.
Yeah, I mean, we literally just finished like reading a bunch of Suicide Squad. My brain is mute.
Also, we've been running on like 2 hours of sleep for the past 3 or 4 days just from life.
Also, The Punisher is amazing. Like on a side note,
God.
Right? Isn't that like surprisingly good?
Everyone, fuck this movie. Spend your weekend watching The Punisher. That shit is so good.
I saw the trailer and I was like, yo, this looks like some boring conspiracy bullshit. And I was up to like 4 a.m. like, this is some good conspiracy bullshit.
Right? I don't know what it is. And people are complaining they don't like it that much. It's not getting great reviews, but I'm like, this is like the Marvel shit I've always wanted, like a drama, but there's still some like comedic elements, but it's like the characters are so like intricate and have so many issues.
I don't think there's any flat characters. I think everyone's well-rounded and has a good amount of depth to them.
Everyone has a purpose. Everyone has like a bad backstory or like an interesting backstory. There's like this side storyline with this dude that's like this crazy military guy who gets lied to about something, and I'm just like, holy shit.
Yeah, it just like there's so many elements that are interesting about it, and I'm like, why don't you just? I feel like it's the right tone for like a modern day Punisher.
Absolutely, and I think people weren't expecting that. I think they were expecting a balls to the wall, guns out type of thing,
which is always fun. But then just pick up a comic.
That's not what this is. It's actually really, really good, and it is based off of like a specific comic. So we should do this show. I'm 100%.
It'll be our first TV show we've done.
I'm 100% down to do a Punisher episode or like a double episode.
Sure, absolutely. But we should do a Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode first.
Fuck no.
Okay. Before we keep talking about a show
that we enjoy,
what if we just title it Justice League and then only talk about the Punisher show? That'd be amazing.
Punish League.
Which, by the way, we want DC movies to be good, unlike Rotten Tomatoes or other things. We want them to be good. I want to be excited. I'm so excited to see Batman's world develop, whether it's Ben Affleck, who I thought would have been okay, or Jake Gyllenhaal, whoever the fuck's next.
Right. And the thing is, I'm more of a DC fan. I lean on the side of DC than Marvel way more, but I'm just always disappointed with their movies. Like, I talk a lot of shit, but I really like DC. Batman's my favorite superhero, and it just sucks that these movies just don't nail it at all, especially with comics that are very intricate. Their characters are very deep, and their dynamics with each other is very interesting, but they never hit that mark ever with any of these movies, except for the Christopher Nolan series, which is like, that's never going to happen again. We're just not going to see that again.
I think he'll do another 3.
No, he won't. You know the only reason he did it?
Why?
So he can make Inception.
Huh.
But he likes, like, Batman, but he obviously signed a deal with Warner Brothers, like, make 3 Batman movies, and he's like, all right, fine. Will you give me all the money I want? Yeah, sure. Okay, cool.
Done.
I'll make a semi-truck flip itself.
And I'm sure he had fun on the set. We're going to go see the movie. You know, I do want to see, like, the Batman and Wonder Woman dynamics play out. You know, Batman and Superman have a really complex relationship. Yep. We haven't seen any of that. You know, just go watch the animated movies. They actually, like, nail those pretty well.
Or just read, I'd recommend reading the Injustice comics. Those are really good, especially because it's all the Justice League and all the DC heroes fighting each other. It's like their own little version of Civil War.
Yeah, but wouldn't you, I mean, I don't think they should start on that. If you
I would if you're, like, it's an easy read to get into. Like,
sure, but it's an alternate universe, right, kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah. And there's 2 volumes, so it's a pretty long read.
I have no idea what this movie's going to take from.
I don't. Steppenwolf is like the villain. I'm like, why would you choose that dude? No one knows who the fuck that is.
They should have chose a Wonder Woman villain. That would have been smart. That's what they did.
Anyone else? Why Steppenwolf?
Because he'd be Steppen.
Wolf?
Wolf. I think it's Steppenwolf. But I don't think
No, it's Steppen.
It's Steppen?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was Steffen. And I'm like, Stefan Wolf. Get in here.
Stephen Wolf.
Executive producer, Dick Wolf. All right. That's Brat. Well, no, shit. No, it's not. We got to go watch the movie. See you guys in 3 days.
That's a brat.
That's a brr.
Not a brat.
That's a brr.
All right. Fake break.
Fuck. We're going to see the movie. Fun fact, everyone. Danny Elfman was Oingo Boingo.
Is Oingo Boingo.
Oingo Boingo. Oingo. Oh.
Oingo Boingo.
Oingo Boingo. Baba. Speaking Bantu all of a sudden. Pretty sure they're not a band anymore. Are they?
They still perform on
occasion. Really?
Yeah.
That's even way cooler than I thought.
Yeah, they have little we're back type of businesses.
So the dude that
and we're also back.
We are also back.
Apologies. It's been a minute.
It's been a hot minute.
Because finals.
And we've both been sick.
And we're both sick. And we've both been very busy filming.
That's a good point, yeah. Which you would know if you checked our social media. Which actually you wouldn't because we didn't update our social media. But if you followed, we would update our social media.
Yeah, what's the point if you guys don't respond? Just saying.
Oh, well, we're not going to try to guilt them.
Just saying.
Just saying. Actually, we got a bunch of followers from Comic-Con.
We did, but they probably unfollowed us now.
Maybe. We'll find out.
People do that a lot.
So, we are back. We did record the pre-show before the show, or before the movie, but after that, stuff happened. We were reading the comics, both got sick, all that jazz. But we're back now.
We did watch all 3 Hobbit films
when
you were sick.
Yeah, I should have read those comics at that time.
You mean books? Book.
No, I mean the comic books for the Justice League.
Yeah, you should have read the book too, though.
For The Hobbit?
Yeah. We could have done a Hobbit episode.
Yeah, not yet. We're not ready for that. Maybe in the summer.
It's one book.
It's a big book.
It's actually not even a big
Okay,
book.
we'll get to that. We'll do that,
Yeah,
okay?
whatever. We're always going to be on Marvel.
Whatever. Where's the DC? We're doing DC. You love DC.
DC sucks.
Now it does.
Movie-wise.
All right. So, we're going to get into what came true of our expectations. Spoiler alert. We were very wrong. We were wrong. What were your expectations?
I didn't really have any. That the movie would be bad.
Okay. I mean, I put that down too. I thought that the reshoots for Snyder and Whedon would be very different. They were pretty different.
Yeah, you can tell.
I mean, you
who's
can tell
directing
who
what.
did who, but I feel like an idiot can't.
There's points where that it just straight up looks like the Avengers.
Yeah.
In some scenes, so.
There was a Green Lantern, not the Green Lantern, but he appeared for like a hot second and then died.
That's very
And then the ring did fly off, but it flew off to someone else. So I predicted that. Superman coming back to life, big surprise. He did. With his great CGI jaw. And then the black suit was not there. I was like, he's got to be in some kind of suit. And then he was just wearing a tux. I was like, oh. I guess.
He didn't have a shirt on.
Well, no, he had a suit. They ripped his clothes off. That's really sacrilegious. There's a lot of sacrilegious imagery in this movie.
Like bringing people back from the dead?
Yeah, and the shirt, the defiling of the memoriam and stuff. There's a lot of bad stuff. The more I think about this movie, the more I get mad about it. But let's get our review.
Let's continue with this stuff.
I mean, that's all I predicted. So do you want to get into the review?
Yeah.
All right. What'd you think? We're all waiting to hear what Gamer Complainer has to think.
I'm so confused.
About?
The movie. Like, I don't think I liked it, but I don't think I didn't dislike it. I'm very torn. Sorry, I'm talking very slow. I've been on, like, codeine and lack of sleep and whatnot.
I don't mind codeine. But that's fine. Sharing's caring.
It was like... it was so all over the place. I don't know how to feel about it. It wasn't as bad as, like, Suicide Squad or Batman vs. Superman. It felt more cohesive, but... there's just something wrong with it. Yeah,
I agree. I think a lot of that has to do with the reshoots. I think we should talk about a quick controversy that's going on. I don't know what happened for the last 3 DC films that have come out, but people all of a sudden think Zack Snyder's a genius.
Yeah,
and that he had this true intention with this film. So everyone is, a lot of DC fans that are upset with the release and outcome of Justice League are saying... that there was a Snyder edition, like a Zack Snyder cut that they wanted. Like Whedon isn't like a million times better of a writer and director.
Well, and also this was mostly Zack Snyder's movie. This isn't like... he directed like 75% of the film. It's not like Whedon came in when they were 25% done and directed the whole rest of the movie.
So there's a lot of controversy about that.
Also, it's Hans Zimmer's score. They're like, Hans Zimmer did a score.
Oh, that's straight up. Hans
XL.
Zimmer is a hack. We can stop that shit right now. You say what you want about Zack Snyder. He made 300. He made Watchmen. Those were good adaptations.
Cheating, but that's.
I mean, they're just like source to screen adaptions, like direct borrowing, but it's fine. The problem is it's okay. DC just isn't having great movies come out. Personally, I actually really enjoyed this, and I feel it's because Whedon saved a lot of the characters. There was a lot of the writing that Whedon did do, I think, did come in really interesting moments, and I was like, oh, that's cool. But I definitely agree with you. I think Whedon did less than 30%. People are saying that he reshot 50. I think he didn't reshoot a lot. I think he cut a lot of Zack Snyder stuff.
There's zero chance he shot anywhere close to 50% of this movie.
No.
This movie was doing reshoots in like February,
yeah.
and it came out in
November.
Like, if you know how movies work, there's no fucking way they spent like 3 or 4 months editing that movie.
Also,
there's no chance.
You got to keep in mind Henry Cavill's like $2.3 million mustache removal. I mean, come on. I think Zack Snyder filmed a lot of the end. He filmed a lot of the beginning. There's some stuff cut out for sure from the trailers, but it all seemed like stuff in the first 40 minutes. Like, they go into Victor Stone's background, Cyborg and stuff, and I think some of that's interesting because we'll talk about it later. It does seem like it takes precedent from a specific comic, but I think if Joss Whedon cut it out, I think it didn't work.
Absolutely. He's definitely one to trim the fat, as they say.
I mean, I think, all right, a lot of people give Whedon trash. Whedon was like a god until Avengers 2 wasn't perfect, and now people give him trash. But if you look at what he accomplished in that film and like all the things he told, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's not bad,
like,
for sure.
He explained Ultron, Vision, the threat of Thanos. He set up Ragnarok, Infinity War, Civil War, all in one movie. Mm-hmm. And he still had like moments of levity with Hawkeye's farm. The fact that most people could understand what the fuck Vision is about is beyond amazing. And then you have this guy who can barely do who's Batman. Like, Zack Snyder hasn't even done Batman well.
Well, and what doesn't make sense is he has so much material.
You were talking about that.
To work with. I'm just so confused. You have an animated show from the 90s that does a better job of fucking showing Batman. And that's a kid's show.
Zack Snyder admitted to watching... I'm a big fan of a YouTube guy named Mr. Sunday Movies, and he made a kill count of all the old Batman movies and how he killed people. Zack Snyder used that for reference. What he didn't realize is that video was a parody on how old Batman was unrealistic and a murderer. And he's like, yeah, he did it all the time, so I thought I could do it. And the guy apologized to all his fans. He's like, yo, I didn't mean for this to take precedent.
Yeah, and there's so much Justice League material. I don't know why they chose the villain they chose. I don't know why they decided to even make a Justice League movie without Lantern in it. Because he's very essential
he's
to
kind
the
of
Justice
important.
League.
I think they're just trying to stay away from that Green Lantern. You know? I don't think they're really proud of the... Ryan Reynolds.
Who
That was
cares?
directed by Bruce Campbell.
You guys made 2 shitty movies with the same characters in this. It makes zero difference at this point.
I think it'd be funnier if Ryan Reynolds came back.
That'd be amazing.
And then he's still talking shit about it in Deadpool. He's playing Deadpool's advocate. I put that under my dislikes. If you guys watch Batman vs. Superman... there's a deleted scene which really does make a lot of sense with not Darkseid. What's his name? Steppenwolf. And he's like all prosthetic, and he basically looks like a Pan's Labyrinth or a Guillermo del Toro animatronic kind of thing. And you're like, oh shit, that looks really cool. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to see Justice League fight that guy. And then he comes in and he looks like a character from Tintin, and I'm like, oh shit.
He looks like a cutscene from a video game.
Yeah. It was really bad. So I was really upset about that, and I don't read a lot about Steppenwolf, and we'll talk about it why in comic references, but I just don't think it was a good choice. I think it was a really
they
bad
keep
choice.
choosing. There's so much wrong. I can't even. I'll get into the comic section of why.
Yeah. So here are my dislikes, real quick. Just
all right.
To run them off. Too many meetups. We'll learn in a really great comic later that there's a better way to introduce these characters instead of going, "Hey, you look like you could be helpful. I read about you in a file."
Do you mean meetups at convenience or just meetups like Batman?
Like Batman going like, I want you to join my team. Which one? He's not a team player.
Batman would 100% never, ever, ever in a million years try and start the Justice League. He would pretend to start a league so that he could keep track of everyone and like have a backup plan, but he would not go out and recruit people. He's fucking Batman.
He does that all the time. He's always the guy who's like, if the Justice League turned evil, what would we do? Or Superman is a 1% chance. I kind of see that.
He gets kicked out of the Justice League
multiple
all the time.
times. He never even wants to be a member.
Batman, we need your help.
He's like, fine.
He's like, no. And then he ends up fixing everything.
Yeah. There's a lot of things I like a lot of aesthetic things about this Batman. I like this tone, the setting, the era. His writing is just all fucked. So I'm getting real sick of that. And him just going like, I need a team, and him making these jokes. They're making him like an Iron Man ripoff, but it doesn't work. He's supposed to be brooding. I want brooding Batman.
I want Batman just disappears and doesn't tell you where the fuck he's going.
Yeah,
Batman
I like
all
him
the
having his
time.
own plan. Like, he's like, the Justice League, like, half the time I like Batman's plans to be so crazy that he doesn't even mention bringing it up because no one would agree to it.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
like, all right, I'm going to go do this.
Also, why would he let them into the Batcave?
Right? And half
That would
the time,
never happen.
he just, like, yells he's Bruce Wayne, like, halfway through the movie. He's like, Bruce Wayne in, like, an Icelandic kind of country. Oh, you want to talk about how he grew a beard in, like, a day?
Oh, so at the beginning of the film, Batman doesn't have a beard. He's in full suit, whatever. And then the next scene, when he goes to find Aquaman, he's got a full-grown fucking beard. What happened? He grew a beard in like a day?
I know people that grow, like, a 5 o'clock shadow in, like, a day. But other than that, I really don't know. This is weird.
That was not a 5 o'clock shadow. That
I
was
know,
a
it's a full
fucking
beard.
full-grown beard.
CGI Darkseid was dumb. Yeah, I think a lot of the character directions were kind of hypocritical. Good coworker of mine, G Mini, brought up the fact that Cyborg has a very interesting character direction in the comics, and in the movie it kind of just goes backwards. So, for example, he really doesn't like his dad because he brought him back to life, and he's like, I'm a monster. And then they kind of play with that for a minute, and then they just drop it. But it's funny because he's like, I didn't ask to be brought to be back to my life. You're playing with forces you don't understand. 20 minutes later, he's like, we're going to bring Superman back? All right, I'm game. I know how to do it. I'll even explain how to do it and go into further details on how it can work and not work because I know how the technology works, and I think it's okay. It's like,
Good.
What happened 10 minutes ago? Aren't you, like, super against this? And he's like, nope, I'm just going to judge my dad for it secretly. Don't tell my dad I did this, by the way. And then Batman's 1% logic drives me nuts. Him going like, if Superman is 1% threat of a chance, we have to take it. If Superman can come back alive, 1% chance, we have to take it.
Batman does not think that way. Batman is like 99% chance success, 1% chance failure.
Yeah.
Not doing it.
Yeah. He waits for like guarantees. Or he'll take big risk and goes like, I was okay with the consequences. But this Batman's crazy. Condom's gonna work 1% of the time. We have to use it. It's just an idiot.
It is ridiculous. Also, I don't like, again, with these superhero movies, make their powers consistent.
Yes.
Or just
Preach.
choose like
Yes.
how powerful you want your characters. Like 1 minute, Wonder Woman's kicking ass. The next minute she gets beaten the fuck up. But Superman is okay, even though she's a fucking god. Like that makes no sense.
Yeah, so they kind of have a fight and they're even powered. And then I guess when Steppenwolf, all spoilers, is fighting Wonder Woman, he's kicking her ass. But when Superman comes, he's like, oh shit, and gets destroyed. But just a minute ago, they were like equal level of power. So I'm like, what happened in the last 10 minutes that made Superman 10 times stronger than Wonder Woman?
I don't know.
They just have to write the scenarios better.
They do. There's another point when she's fighting Superman and he's kicking her ass.
Yeah.
That didn't make any sense.
Yeah. They should be a little closer to the strength. I don't mind Superman being a little stronger. I don't mind that. But, like, it should almost be inconsequential.
He's not. He's still from a planet. He's not a god.
Yeah. He's just
She
an
came
alien.
from, like, Zeus.
Yeah, that's a good point.
She fought Ares, the god of war.
You think Superman could kick Zeus's ass?
No.
I mean, in this movie, I feel like I'd put my money on Superman.
Yeah, but in reality, no.
Yeah.
He created a race of super women.
Yeah, that's a good point.
No.
Yeah.
And who else's powers were inconsistent? Batman, absolutely.
Oh, can't fight one parademon. He fights a parademon for like 10 minutes, and then like halfway through, he's like chopping through them with like laser grenades and guns.
With his fucking night owl goggles for some reason.
Yeah, I
Is
don't
that
like
like
the
a
goggles.
nod by Zack Snyder?
Zack Snyder has a goggle fetish. He just loves goggles.
Put on the goggles.
Put the goggles on the skin, or else it gets the hose again.
Zack, I didn't sign up for put on the goggles.
Put on the goggles. And I bet Whedon's like has to cut out half the scenes because he's like, why are there goggles?
It's daytime. I thought they weren't goggles.
Lois and Martha are just wearing goggles as they're talking.
He's like, Photoshop that.
Yeah. Goggle time. All right. Do you have any other dislikes? Some of the jokes didn't land.
Oh my God, Flash with his fucking. Why do they do that? They always have to have that character. Like, if the Flash was the same as he was in the movie, like in real life, if that guy was like in your class, you'd think it was really fucking annoying and you'd be over him real quick.
Probably.
But he's in a movie, so he's so funny. Like, he's so quirky, and he watches like Korean television sing-song shows or whatever, and he eats lots of food because he has to, and he makes jokes.
I feel like he has a waifu. I'm like 50% on it.
So stupid. It's so dumb. Why is that in there as a joke? It adds nothing to his character.
I think there's one joke that we both can agree was actually pretty good.
There was one good joke where they brought Superman back, and he's like, "It's Pet Cemetery."
Because I don't know if you guys know this, but Gamer Complainer is terrified of Pet Cemetery, the movie.
I don't fuck with Pet Cemetery. And that's exactly what it was. Superman comes back and he's evil.
I think it's actually a really good callback. And you can definitely tell that was Whedon. You could just like 100% tell. Snyder's not that funny.
I really didn't like the way that they brought Superman back. I thought it was just a stupid plan all around.
Yeah, I was confused.
For some reason, Wonder Woman was like the voice of reason and said, "This is a really bad idea. We should just try and find something else." And Batman's like, "No."
But then she's wrong, and everyone's like, "Yeah, Wonder Woman, you idiot."
She's like, "We still got in a fight." Like, just say it. Still wasn't himself, but
always mess with forces you don't understand, Diana.
Death?
Basically.
Death and resurrection?
I was confused because I'm like, oh, are they really going to try to bring him back? I thought it was going to fail or some shit. And they were like, oh, it didn't work. And then he comes back later some other way. But it does feel like a weird like shift in the movie where you're like,
I know.
Is this where we're going?
It doesn't make sense because at one point what do they do before they do that?
They fight in the
boxes.
Yeah, they're
the
fighting
Amazon
for the
boxes?
box. Yeah.
The 2-day shipping.
Yeah, Amazon.
That's all you needed.
That's is that what their Amazon box?
Just ordered it off Amazon. You would have gotten it in 2 days. Spent all that time zipping around like looking for shit.
Yeah, it's just really a weird tone to have to the movie.
It is all over.
And it's not like the comic book did it any better, and we will go into that, but
that's a comic book, so it's a little more forgiving.
Yeah, we were hoping there was a more logical reason.
A movie, it's just ridiculous. And Superman is fighting a god of the sea, someone who's faster than him, and someone who is built to destroy him. How the fuck did he fight all four of them?
But a redhead reporter definitely changes
melts his heart.
Dude, Batman is supposed to be always prepared. We talked about this during the movie. He would have a kryptonite ring straight up ready. One, he has a kryptonite ring always. He's ready to punch Superman.
But is he war ready? War ready.
Yeah.
War ready.
It's still a stupid song.
War ready. War ready.
We had a bet a long time ago. She's like, I could see that song in a movie. And I was like, yeah, it's definitely not going to happen. It has no beat. And then the next week, it was in that Pacific Rim trailer. It's still a bad song. Get over yourself.
That wasn't what the bet was. The bet was it would be in a movie or a trailer. And I said trailer.
Get over yourself. It's over. You won.
In a week.
You won. It's over.
Amazing. Anyway. Also, Henry Cavill's acting. He really phoned it in on this one. Like, what the fuck?
He was only here for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and he was bad.
I don't think it was that bad.
He was bad.
I didn't mind him.
I think they didn't have him say a lot of lines so they could CGI his lip as easily as possible. Because he's talking with Lois, and she keeps talking, and he's like, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. That's nice. Like, he doesn't say anything else. And then he gets super cocky when he fights Steppenwolf.
Yeah, he's like, justice.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
I kind of like that. Superman's boring.
You've been back like 30 minutes.
Yeah, literally 5
But
minutes.
I don't know where his character is going. Superman's very humble and whatever. In this, he's he goes from, yeah, ma'am, to man, fuck shit up.
I think when he's fighting, he's a little more edgy. Very rarely, but we'll see that in one comic.
It just felt so fake to me. It just didn't feel right.
If Batman and Superman don't feel that good, there's a problem. The dynamic between Batman and Superman, I'll go into, there's another comic, is really intricate. And there's a level of respect, but also like it's basically Captain America and Iron Man. There's a lot of parallels to that relationship.
It's very
similar.
They're very extreme though, a lot more extreme.
They're probably definitely more separate
in comparison to the movies, like more so. Like Batman is on one spectrum of thought, Superman entirely different spectrum of thought, and they will probably never
be
agree.
on the same plane. Yeah. But they can still have respect for each other.
Yeah, they absolutely have respect.
They don't kill. Well, never mind. Sorry.
They both kill in this.
Yeah, they're
some
both
by accident, some on purpose.
Snapping necks and breaking people in half with cars. Long story short, well, one, as I was saying earlier, Batman would not be ready to resurrect Superman without a plan to stop him. What happened to that whole 1% chance? There was a huge chance that he would try to kill you again. He didn't get the Nightwing, Bat stuff, the whatever.
Also, did he forget who he was just because he was dead?
I have no idea. I don't understand why he had amnesia. I thought that was stupid.
Yeah, I mean, why would he just totally forget who he was? I just needed some kind of explanation. It's like, I can understand if you're dead and you come back and you're like, oh, yeah. He's like zombie Superman.
Mm-hmm. But he was just angry because he remembered the "Do you bleed" line. He saw Batman and was like, "Oh, fuck that dude."
But I'm also confused because at the end of Batman vs Superman, they helped each other. So why is he still pissed off? Because
I didn't write the movie.
No, I'm just. It's more of a rhetorical.
Okay.
It's a rhetorical question, but it's like it just doesn't make sense why he's still mad.
Well, I don't mind temporary amnesia, but it didn't seem like amnesia because he remembered very specific things.
I don't know why he's mad at him. I honestly don't know.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Like,
I do wonder what Zack Snyder's plan was to keep him alive. I'm kind of curious.
I don't know.
Because the dirt was flying on his coffin, so he wasn't dead. But then I guess in this, he's dead now.
Well, that's why I was also confused. Because this, like you said, the coffin bumped, and I'm like, like, hey, raise the roof.
I don't think he was saying raise the roof. I think like his aura pushed the dirt.
I think he was just like, hello.
He didn't knock on the coffin.
Excuse me, I'm not dead.
All right. Can we get into likes?
We didn't talk about Aquaman. That was another dislike.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
Aquaman is so bro. He could be on that movie from Netflix.
Which movie?
Who Drew the Dicks?
Oh, American Vandal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely close to Bro Thor. Like, I feel like
he's beyond Bro Thor.
You think he's beyond Bro Thor?
He's so bro in this.
I hated Bro Thor. And I didn't like him in this, but I was like, I never really cared for Aquaman, if I'm being honest.
Like
he's never
around,
compelling.
He's just drinking like whiskey, chugging it like, man,
dude
so
dressed like a bat. That's Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I know.
He doesn't have a
He's
theme.
into it. That's what he's singing in his little aquarium.
He doesn't have an aquarium.
Isn't that what the ocean is? Just a big aquarium?
Okay. Get off philosopher. All right. I don't think there's much to say except I didn't like the direction. You know what I think was interesting? When we saw the movie twice, and the audience laughed the most at the worst jokes.
Yes, because they're dumb.
They laughed at the, what's your superpower? I'm rich.
They're like, yeah, Batman is rich.
Batman is rich. That's a true fact.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
I'm like, that's the worst joke in the movie. That is definitely the worst joke. No one laughed at the Pet Cemetery, except us in the theater.
Dude, that was so funny.
We looked so stupid because everyone's like, what's Pet Cemetery?
It's also in the trailer a million times. So it's
right?
not like you haven't seen
How
the
did
joke.
they not see that trailer? Man.
God, people are dumb. No wonder they make movies like how they do nowadays. If people find that shit funny,
yeah.
I would just walk out of the theater and be like, man, I give up. Fuck my scripts.
Your intellectual shit won't fly.
It's the same thing with Hideo Kojima's new game. People are like, this is retarded. I'm like, how is it retarded? Because
I just don't get it yet.
There's explanations. And
I know we definitely don't go into your explanation right now.
I'm
That's
not,
a separate podcast.
No, I'm just saying in conjunction with this, where like people try and make
different
movies
things
that are different or halfway intelligent, and people are like, this is stupid because I don't get it.
Fair point.
Just like read up on shit.
That being said, I actually really enjoyed the movie for some bizarre reason. And I think it's time to go into it.
Okay.
Hit me up. Go. You go first.
Likes?
Yeah, you go with your likes.
Dude, I honestly don't know.
We liked the film. When we first left the theater, we were like, yay.
Well, I watched it again, and
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I noticed that. Well, I'm going to go into my likes, Miss Negative Nancy,
I like Wonder Woman.
Debbie Downer,
Wonder Woman's good.
Jivey Jessica.
Jivey Jessica.
I tried something new. It didn't work.
Tristan Problem.
Can't give my name away.
Your name's not Problem.
God
That's
damn
what
it, gamer complainer. You're just going to censor my name.
Probesinator.
That works.
That is your name.
No, it's not. They don't know that. I can just like probing stuff. All right, likes.
Wonder Woman's good. The fight with the Amazons was good.
That
really
was
cool.
super dope. It was kind of a new scene for superhero movies. I'm keeping an eye out for stuff that's new in the superhero kind of like genre. That like cat and mouse run away, secure the cube kind of thing.
It was really clever.
It was clever. I think that might have been Snyder.
I don't think so. He's not. It would have been in slow motion. He's not that.
That's
clever.
a good point. Maybe it was in slow motion. Whedon's like, yeah,
Dude.
this scene takes like 2 hours. Can we just put it in fast motion or like regular speed? Yeah. I thought it was kind of a fun movie. The tone was kind of better. Granted, I think out of all the dark movies, this one should have been the darker one, maybe. Maybe no, Batman vs Superman should have been dark.
I don't know what they're trying to do, so I can't really say that. I don't know why they're picking the villains they pick and the stories they choose. I just don't. I don't understand the progression of these characters, so I can't have a good opinion. Cause like at least I know with Marvel, I know what's gonna happen next because it's a series of stuff, and I know who might be in it because they were in the other movie. Whereas this
It has a lot of new
it's
characters.
so random. I just don't know how to feel. Like I honestly, if you watch those movies in progression of each other, they don't connect in any way. They all feel like totally separate,
Entities.
different movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my biggest issue with what's going on with their movies. And it takes them like fucking 4 years to make one movie. Marvel cranks out 3 movies a year.
That's a
Like
good
they
point.
got to catch up.
Yeah, and I think they shouldn't try to catch up. I think they should just make movies good. I don't know how to explain
No,
that
I
better.
agree, but I mean in terms of like
Their characters.
the way that I really enjoy how Marvel has a storyline with all their characters and everything's connected. It makes sense. And they're trying to do that, but it's not working because people are quitting, people are, not knowing what they're doing, people are coming in, coming out. Like, what is happening?
In trying to short down what you're trying to say, these characters have really dynamic and rich source material, so they can work, and you can make them work quickly. They're just not doing it.
Yes.
And I think a lot of that is because they're trying to copy Marvel. There is an excellent comic book that this takes sources from that really explains all the characters in like 30 seconds, and then it just goes. Like that was kind of a cool thing about Spider-Man Homecoming, even though I didn't really like the film, is it knows you already know who Spider-Man is. So it just goes, all right, you know who Spider-Man is? Go. Adventure. Go. And, it's kind of nice when a movie doesn't, hold your hand.
Yeah.
It's just like, go. Have fun.
But you can't do that with this because Marvel has been consistent for the most part for a while.
Granted, no,
Whereas
I get that.
with this, they keep changing who. Like Ben Affleck's already quitting.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
So now we got to start over again or find another Batman. Like
or
that's
we'll
insane.
just ignore it. We'll just ignore it. It's the same Batman. He
Who's
just
gonna
looks
be Batman?
way hotter. It's Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
He's not going to be Batman.
I think he already confirmed.
He's not confirmed. There's
Okay.
no way.
All right. I thought, I think the movie was fun. I had fun. There's fun jokes. The Amazon scene. I really enjoyed the battle scene, the flashback with the Green Lantern and the Zeus thingy. I was like, oh, look at this. These are all the DC richness.
Yeah, all the gods and the lanterns.
Yeah.
And
overall, I thought like the parademons, I thought the world setting was kind of interesting. It was all green screen, but I think it was still interesting. I wanted to see more. And I think it would have been a lot better if we saw more of Cyborg's backstory. And they kind of showed that in the trailer because he's like a football player, gets in an accident. But they kind of show more about him. And that would have been interesting. Like, we see Cyborg off the bat as a cyborg. And it's like, okay, he's already a cyborg. There's nothing interesting about that. Watching him transform from a human to a cyborg, oh my god, it looks devastating. But we never see him as a human.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I can't have a connection with anyone. I don't even know where they're from. It's not like I don't know the characters anyway.
But it's not expressed on screen.
Exactly. You can't do that. You can't make a Lord of the Rings movie in the middle just because a lot of people have read the book. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. Yeah, no, I get that. I still think there are pluses. I think a lot of the characters, like acting was good. The dynamics are cool. I think there was a lot of, team building relationships. I'm like, this is cool. Do more of this. Stop trying to, play catch up in a really weird way. Because they're like introducing the characters, but everyone's already who they are. So might as well just introduce them with the action. Like,
but they don't know who they are.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I know.
They're
but
so different in each movie. It's just all over the place.
But you know how Joss Whedon introduced Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and Vision in one movie? Did anyone know who they were? No, but who do you know who they are now? Yes. He did that in one movie. And I think if Joss Whedon took on earlier, I think we would have seen more of that.
I mean, Vision's been in 3 movies now.
Now he's been in 3 movies, but you already knew what he was about an hour and 30 minutes into Age of Ultron. He came in, we all knew what he was about. He's like, we have to go. And then the character building with that character is oh, how do you trust this guy? How do you know he's a good guy? He lifts the hammer. Oh shit, he must be worthy. Go. There was a plot device in another character that we already use, so you can build trust off that character. Genius.
Literally, I feel like Justice League is a movie you watch and forget everything you just saw because there's no...
I wrote it down.
There's no pacing. Yeah. I mean, there's no pacing. There's no real plot points that are memorable. I just know they won at the end and that Superman came back. But I forgot everything I just watched again.
I feel like there should have been something. I think Superman should have been doing something bigger that no one else could, stop a spaceship or some shit. Having him just punch a dude around is just kind of boring and defeats the purpose of the Justice League. We were supposed to talk about positive stuff.
You did.
Yeah, no.
You said it was fun.
I did. What'd you do?
I did too.
You said the Amazon scene.
I said Wonder Woman is good. Wonder Woman has a great origin story. It's probably their better movie.
Wait, we're not talking about that movie.
No, I mean in connection with that. It's that's why I felt Wonder Woman was the most likable part about the movie because we knew what she was about by then. Even though she's a little bit different in the movie because she's progressed in the future since the other movies in the past. Mm-hmm. I still like her. I know her powers. I know what she's about. So I'm on Team Wonder Woman. Batman, I don't fucking know. He's trying to kill Superman 1 minute and bring him back from the dead the next. What? That's
a good point. Yeah, so I like the reactions of the team. I think the newer members are the better parts. Maybe because there's less to fuck up with. Like the Flash, I didn't like love the Flash, but there was parts I liked about him. His powers seemed consistent. His character, although not the most enjoyable and well written, I think was more consistent. Aquaman, same story. I like Cyborg. A lot of people didn't for some reason. I liked him. I thought it was fun.
He hasn't really progressed.
I even like Superman. I know he's boring, but I mean Superman's always been boring and OP, which I don't know why anyone's surprised. He is kind of just a generic kind of guy. If people tell me good Superman comics to read, because I've read a bunch recently, I gotta tell you, it's just boring generic
Death of Superman.
Death of Superman, Reign of Superman.
Anything that's out of Superman's strength range is always his best, or equal or above his strength.
Yeah, like him bench pressing a planet is kind of interesting.
Where he has to sacrifice.
But then he just makes new powers, and then you're like, "Fuck you, man! Can't just do that."
Or he comes back from the dead. But still, that's when it's the most interesting stories about Superman.
Fair
Everything
enough.
else, if he's fighting with other characters, then it's whatever.
Granted. All right.
Or if he goes up against people in the Justice League, that's always interesting.
Yeah, I always like that. Not when he takes on the Justice League and just kills everyone. Destroys. So, what did you think as a comic book movie?
No, we have to get to...
Oh, right. All right. Well, what did you think of the movie overall? What would you give the rating?
A 5.
Okay, I put my first one as a 7.5, but then on my second viewing, I went down to 6.5. I think it's a fun movie with definite flaws in a universe that's moving upwards. I think this is an improvement from Batman vs. Superman and Suicide Squad.
Fun but forgettable.
Fair enough. And it sucks because, this movie definitely had the potential to succeed. I think if Whedon directed beginning to end, Could have been a different story. People asking for a Zack Snyder cut, which an editor has come out about saying, yo, it doesn't exist. Like,
Y'all are idiots.
Like, there are definite changes, but there is no Zack Snyder cut. It doesn't exist.
He didn't direct the scenes. There can't be a cut.
It'd be like 60% of a movie and a bunch of CGI that's not rendered. So it's not done.
He didn't finish the movie.
People are like, look, the scenes from trailers. I'm like, yo, people edit trailers without that even scene in the trailer being done. So the part you saw might have been edited, but the second after might not be edited. So just because you saw a scene in a trailer doesn't mean that full scene plays out.
You just don't know how movies work, that's all.
Or like they change shit. Even Marvel does that. First, Hela was in an alleyway. Then she was in Scotland. Spider-Man's Vulture came down in the Brooklyn Bridge, and then in the movie, he just went into his hangar. They just changed the background. The whole world is green screen.
Also, spoiler, guys, you watch in in movie credits, it'll say second unit director. What that means is there's another director directing other scenes at the same time as the director you think is directing everything. There's way more people working on different scenes of a movie than people actually are aware of. For example, for the Hobbit movies, the second unit director, was Andy Serkis. He directed like 30% of that movie.
But they might have been like scenes of like exposition, like a castle.
Or dialogue, short dialogue scenes with characters that weren't filming when Peter Jackson was filming.
Yeah.
So just understand, movies are a lot different than what you see on screen. There's not one person that's like working on a movie.
Well said.
There's so many people that are involved.
Should we get into the comic references?
Yeah, we're this is a long one for some reason. I don't know why, but
because we love this movie and we miss our fans.
And we talked about the Punisher for like 15 minutes, so
yeah, maybe we should cut that out. Justice League, the Punisher story.
All right, quick break. Right, we're back.
We're back. And we're on Live Me now, because I just remembered that I'm supposed to be doing that for the last 4 episodes of the podcast. But I'm doing it now. So if you want to join Live Me...
Gotta start somewhere.
There's a lot of followers on Live Me. There's like 25 people.
They're all fake people.
Yeah.
If you're real, you'd respond.
No, still a lot of people. Some of them are messaging. I don't know what they're saying.
All right. How does the movie compare to the comics?
I'm glad you asked that, because I have a bunch of comics. Oh, wait. A lot of comics are on my phone. Well, I'll get to those later. So, I think a big comic it takes from was created by Geoff Johns and Jim Lee as the artist.
Geoff.
Is that his name?
No.
Yeah, I think it is Geoff. I have no fucking idea, if I'm being honest.
Your handwriting is...
Whatever. But Justice League 52, it was called like Justice League Origins, really goes into a lot of stuff. So, it goes into the origin of Cyborg, which is really cool. Kind of goes into the whole backstory of, his dad was never really supportive and doesn't really support his sports career because he's like, who the fuck cares if you can make a touchdown? This dude can throw a building. Who cares? And it's kind of like an interesting dynamic when you kind of think of like a father and son thing. None of that really comes to the screen, but I think that's what was originally intended. And you can kind of see that Cyborg's origin comes from the invasion of like the Apocalyptians, which, by the way, Darkseid is the uncle to... No, Steppenwolf is the uncle to Darkseid, and they come from a planet called Apocalypse. Basically. So they come to Earth and they destroy shit. It's basically the same premise. The beginning of the comic starts with Batman chasing down a parademon, like, yo, what the fuck's going on? Then he interrogates it and then it explodes and Green Lantern's like, yo, what the fuck was that? And I think, as I was saying earlier, this comic works better because all the characters are doing their own thing. Like, the parademons are causing trouble all over the world. And then the superheroes come together going like, yo, are these demons causing shit in your neighborhood? Yeah. All right, let's work together to stop this shit. And then all of them like have these interesting dynamics where you have like Superman and Batman fighting, and Green Lantern and Superman, Aquaman coming, Superman being like, yo, Wonder Woman, you look really fucking fine.
Well, and it makes more sense in the context of the comics because Batman isn't recruiting everybody. It's them just coming together naturally, for a common purpose.
Which would work so much better for a film that, you know, didn't have a lot of time to introduce everything.
Right.
I think it would have worked better if you were like, oh, this is Cyborg. He's a cyborg made from this shit that the aliens are bringing down. This is Batman. You know Batman. Here's Green Lantern. Here's the Flash. They're all working together. Just go. Adventure, go. But no. We had to do meetups where Cyborg texts Diana, slides into her DM.
It just reminded me of meetup.com.
Batman.
It's a group for superheroes. Meetup. This Parademons. I'm going to meet on Wednesday around 5 p.m. Cool.
Superman, I can't. I'm still dead.
We'll meet at the rec center.
So that was really good. And they kind of all meet up and they have some nice dynamics. Except it's not Steppenwolf with the invasion. It's Darkseid. New Gods, he references New Gods a lot, which is the comic he first appears in, New Gods #7, which, by the way, was created by Jack Kirby, you know, the guy who created Spider-Man and all that shit, so that's pretty cool.
He didn't create Spider-Man.
He did, with Stan Lee.
Jack Kirby created Spider-Man.
Yeah, everyone gets mad at Stan Lee because he technically stole shit.
Right.
No, he really did.
How old is Jack Kirby?
It's like Bob Finger and the other guy who created Batman.
Finger.
That's his name.
That's his name.
That's his name.
Bob Finger.
That's his name.
It's like Bob's Burgers.
But that's his name. I don't see this so funny.
Why does it come from a long line of fingers?
Whatever.
What did they do? Because your last name is usually what you did.
Yeah.
What did you finger people?
My last name's Probert. Do I probe people?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
You could probe them with an object. It doesn't have to be like a finger. It could be a
still
sword.
Sodomy, I think.
No, probe them with like a sword in the stomach.
I don't know if that makes it. No, probe. Oh wait, probe doesn't have to be the ass, does it?
No, it doesn't.
This is a weird conversation with the comment.
Finger. I feel so bad for him in school.
There was another comic called Earth 2. It was done by James Robinson and Trons Galero.
What?
I definitely fucking got that wrong, but it's fine. Trons Galero.
Trons Galero?
Yeah, Trons Galero. So long story short, that one's kind of interesting because Apocalypse comes to Earth and he's doing the parademon thing. Batman has a daughter. It's like, it's parallel universe and there's a lot of shit. Oh, Batman uses a laser gun like he does in this movie.
What about his depregnant ray?
He doesn't have a depregnant ray, but it's too bad he didn't have a depregnant ray because Steppenwolf in this comic got knocked up Wonder Woman.
I think that'd be hilarious as a situation. Wonder Woman comes like, I'm pregnant by Steppenwolf, and he's like,
I got a depregnant ray.
I got you, okay? Batman, why do you have this?
No reason.
Reasons.
If anyone wants to get the depregnant ray joke, you have to go back to like episode 7 of our podcast.
It's in the title of our podcast.
Steppenwolf is a badass in this comic. This is the only comic he's a badass because in that other one I mentioned, he just goes like conquering a world and Darkseid comes and's like, shut the fuck up, uncle. And he's like, okay. He's like, nephew, you're quite dangerous. You should calm down. He's just like a total bitch.
Chill out.
So in this comic, they made him a super badass where he kills a bunch of people.
A very CGI badass. He looks like, did you ever see the Power Rangers movie in like 96, 97?
Yeah. Are you talking about the comic book or the movie?
No, the movie. He looks like fucking Ivan Ooze.
He does look like Ivan Ooze with an axe.
CGI Ivan Ooze.
It's so bad. But in the comic, he looks pretty similar. He has a beard and a goatee. But he straight up kills Wonder Woman, who is the mother of their child, who I forgot her name because it was boring. But I just think that's interesting. You know, how does Wonder Woman happen to sleep with every dude she comes in contact with, specifically the supervillains?
That's her flaw, obviously. She hasn't been around men. She's trying to catch up on her sluttiness.
I get it, but like the whole point of their bracelets, if you go back to our Wonder Woman episode, is that they're not supposed to be chained down for men.
I think that's a lie. I think, you know when your parents say certain things, do things, but really they don't?
Yeah.
I think they lied to them, and they're like, these chains, you can't use it or men's dicks will explode. And then one guy convinced like an Amazon, like, I don't care if my dick explodes. It's not us.
I don't get any of the logic you just said, but that's
no, it's
fine.
like
I get what you're trying to say.
You know, you can swoon a girl.
I don't know how a chain would make a dick explode.
No, I mean like they lied to the Amazons, right?
I was saying.
And then said that they'll like make their dicks explode or something. But one dude just still didn't care. He's like, no, I'm trying to hit this right now. I will take a dick explosion for an Amazon.
Dick explodes. Worth it. Aquaman has a To the Bone comic, which is pretty good. His arm gets cut off, but he's all like hobo-y in that and kind of like brosive, and he has a hook for a hand. So
Hobo?
Yeah.
Hobo man.
Not Journey into Mystery. What was it? Lightning Mystery? Oh, Man with the Lightning Bolt was the first comic of Barry Allen as the Flash. His kind of story is the same, but I wouldn't read that comic. It's super old. It's like from the 50s. Just read any of the other Flash comics. Basically, he's trying to prove his dad's innocence. Or you can just watch the Flash
common.
TV show.
Yeah.
It does a pretty good job of it. They mentioned the Speed Force. That's important for the Flashpoint movie, which is their next movie, which is really soon. They're bringing up their big titles.
I don't understand. Just make a Flash.
They already used Batman, Superman Doomsday. They've used Batman vs Superman. They're using Flashpoint. They're using all their main story arcs.
They literally killed Superman with like their first
second movie.
reboot.
That was their second movie. They killed Superman.
Are you insane?
They're fucking idiots. What else? Those are mainly the things. I looked for his tank, the Nightcrawler, and nothing came up. It just kept showing me Batman tank tops. I'm just saying, it's what I looked for.
There is one comic that stuck out for me, which I would actually recommend. It's called Kingdom Come. It was written by Mark Waid and Alex Ross.
Alex Ross is really good, except for when he does Spider-Man comics.
Yeah, the comic is a part of the Elseworld series, which is the off-world non-canon series of the DC universe. It's written in '96, and it's basically Batman versus Superman, essentially.
Yeah, but with
in a way,
a really good artistic tone.
It's kind of like Frank Miller's Batman Year One mixed with Batman vs Superman / Injustice, because to summarize, the story is all the old school heroes have retired, and their children and all these newer heroes are supposed to be helping the Earth, but they're just fighting each other because no one ever sort of trained them to be good heroes.
Yeah, the legacy heroes just don't really have the same moral foundation that the previous generations had.
They don't care that people get killed, people of Earth, and they just fight each other for like territories, essentially. And Superman does his whole deal of, originally he retired because Lois died because of another villain called Killer.
That sucks.
And so he just goes back to Smallville and he's like, I got a farm. And Wonder Woman's like, this really isn't that important right now. He's like, but who's going to grow the corn?
It's a nice farm.
And she's like, this is really not important right now.
Yeah. I kind of wish Wonder Woman had more lines like that in the movie where she just kind of like, snap. She kind of does the, I work with children, but it's not like she does anything so profound to sign them all back together.
Right. So essentially these two factions are formed of the former Justice League. They have the reformed Justice League and Batman's own league, which is spelled MLF, or called MILF.
Good stuff.
And Lex Luthor is also in this. He controls Captain
Marvel or Shazam.
Yeah, Shazam's mind.
Yeah. And
basically uses him as a slave for his own company. And Ra's al Ghul and Catwoman and a bunch of other supervillains are also part of this company, but they, in a weird way, they're pretending to help the Earth to get control of it at the same time.
Yeah, they have undertones.
Why don't we just be good so people like us? And then we could rule.
It's a good plan.
But then what happens is that backfires for the other superheroes because they make a bomb to destroy all the metahumans and superhumans. But Shazam sacrifices himself to save as many metahumans as he can, but a lot of them do pass away. And the Superman gets really mad, and then a character's like, no, this is why they don't like you because you get pissed off and try and tell them what to do.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want you to do that. And he's like, yeah, you're right. I won't do that. And Wonder Woman's still on her whole, like, you should just kill everybody tip.
All right. Any other ones?
No, I just really enjoyed that. I wish the movie was that, because you could have mixed Batman versus Superman with, like, maybe another big villain in the movie. Just take out the metahumans that no one knows and put in just the normal heroes and just write around that storyline. Also, the artwork is really interesting. It's not your typical comic book artwork. It's like, it looks like real art.
Yeah,
every
it's like
single panel.
1950s, what is it? Realistic art. What do they call that?
It's very surreal looking.
There's a name for that kind of art.
Yeah.
Photorealistic.
Yeah. It's gorgeous. It's a one-off type of thing. Like I said, it's from the Elseworld. It's like 5 issues. Highly recommend reading that. And as a Justice League comic, I felt like it was the most powerful.
Yeah,
interesting.
Probably the 2 comics to read would be that one, Elseworld comic, and then Justice League Origin 2011 by Jeff Johns. Those are kind of like hey, if you want to know more about the Justice League, that's what they're about.
And Grant Morrison also has Justice League, and he's a really good writer.
No, yeah, he's good.
It's called just JLA.
JLA,
and that's pretty good.
Did I talk about the Reign of Superman? I don't think I talked about that yet. That's a really good one. Real quick, the Flash comic was called Mystery of the Human Thunderbolts, which is a really big comic book title. It's a little long.
Mystery of the Human Yeah, it's a lot
yeah,
of
it's
words.
too much.
I'm already bored.
Not like Journey into Mystery or Amazing Fantasy or Action Comics. It's Journey of the Human Thunderbolt, the guy who's really fast.
Sounds very 1950s. Journey to the Human Thunderbolts.
Journey of the Human Thunderbolt. Yeah, basically.
I think that's...
Oh, I got one more. The Reign of Superman.
Okay.
So, Superman does come back in the comic after Superman Doomsday, which we'll go more into that when we do our Batman vs. Superman comic. But basically, he dies, if you didn't know, and he comes back to life. But he doesn't come back to life the way you'd expect. He comes back to life with a couple of things. 1, no superpowers. 2, a black Superman suit. 3, guns. And... so basically, right after Superman dies, I feel like what DC did was like, all right, we need to have a new Superman. So they try 4 different Supermans. There's Son of Krypton, who has all of Superman's powers, but weird-looking goggles with his Superman suit. And he kind of kills people, so you know he's not a good guy. They have Cyborg Superman that was created by the government. Then you have Steel, which is this dude who just has super strength and is like, I'm going to be Superman, who still is in the comics, but he's now instead of referred to as Superman Steel, he's just Steel, and then Superboy. So these 4 super guys are all running around the city pretending to be Superman. Superboy's kind of a prick. Steel's kind of just like a thug, but he's like kicks ass. Cyborg's crazy, and but Cyborg's like legitimately convinced he's Superman. Everyone else kind of knows they're not. Long story short, after a while, one of them goes crazy. I think Darkseid comes back for like half a second. So he actually gets birthed from the Matrix again, the same Matrix that he was from the movie. That is comic accurate. But for some reason, so his body's kidnapped from his grave by the government, and then he disappears, and then he's just in the rebirthing Matrix.
I was very confused
in
about
the
that
comic.
as well.
Yeah, he's just there, and I looked it up. He's just in there, and I'm like, how the fuck did he get there from his grave? No one explained it.
I was also very confused.
It was dumb. He wasn't killed with kryptonite, though. I'm pretty sure he was just beat to death by Doomsday.
In the movie?
In the comic. In the movie, he's definitely like under the influence of kryptonite. But long story short, yeah, it comes back to life with guns, and then comes back and fights with guns. It's weird seeing... he came back with a mullet, too. Did I mention the mullet?
Oh, my God. This must be
90s!
Fucking joke.
Yeah, that's why Aquaman kind of went hobo. That was also in the 90s. And I didn't write who wrote that comic. I can look it up in a second. But those are the main references. It was written by Dan Jurgens, Louise Simpson, and Roger Stern. And the artists were a bunch of people. Oh, same people. Oh, but added with John Bogdanove.
Finger?
No finger. Oh, also, that Steel Superman had a hammer that looked like Thor's. It was dumb.
It's so weird.
I think that's about it.
So, to recap, basically almost none of the comics.
Yeah, we
Were-
really were shooting in the
were
dark. I was
accurate.
reading so much shit. Every website that's like 10 comic books that influenced Justice League.
You
10
weren't even
books you have to
close.
watch before Justice League. Some of them were okay to read, but they had nothing to do with the movie or anything. So all of this is stuff we had like deep internet search.
Deep cuts.
Reddit. Deep cuts, as I like to say.
I honestly don't know what they read.
I think they read.
I think
they
read-
watched half of the animated movie. You know, so the comic book I was talking about, Justice League Origin, was with the New 52, was adapted into an animated movie called Justice League Attack. It's a really bad title, but it's actually a pretty good animated film. It adds Shazam for some reason, but
Well, I mean, he was in Kingdom Come.
I also think it takes out Aquaman. I think it replaces Aquaman with Shazam, but it works super well. It's a really good comic book. Just read that. I mean, the animated movie is good too, so you should just watch that. But I feel like they watched half of it. We're like, okay, we get it, and then they didn't watch the rest. And they
Or
probably
they
watched
just
the
went on
later half.
Wikipedia, like DC Comics, and they just went down the Wikipedia.
Oh,
rabbit
Steppenwolf. Oh, everyone knows Steppenwolf. We'll use that guy. No one knows who he is. Like, no one.
No one cares. He's only on screen for like 15
And he doesn't have any comics. I tried Googling, Steppenwolf comics, because I'm going to be honest with you guys, I had no fucking idea who he was. I know about Apocalypse, and I know his planet, and I've seen him in shit now that I'm like, oh, that's him. But, like,
He's not.
he's not memorable.
Yeah, he's not.
He's just
at
a
all.
dude. Most of the time, what this article even says, like, yeah, most of the time he's just a plot device to say Darkseid. So a lot of times he just goes, Darkseid's coming, then dies.
Also, did you notice it was very similar to the end of Wonder Woman? Like the setup was almost exactly the same.
Yeah. No revival scene, though. But the whole movie
I mean,
arc is about the
technically,
same, yeah.
Superman was revived.
No, I mean from Wonder Woman, there's no revival scene.
What do you mean?
Who gets revived?
Superman.
No, from Wonder Woman.
Oh, I don't know.
No one. I'm saying that's the one difference.
Yeah, I just mean like the final battle in general, how it's all set up. Like the characters look exactly the same.
No,
And
yeah.
the plot
Apocalypse
feels
and
exactly the
Ares,
same.
yeah, pretty similar. They probably fought in that ancient battle. I thought that'd have been cool to see Ares fight.
I thought I saw her for a second, but
Him?
No, Wonder Woman.
No, she definitely wasn't there.
I think it was just the poor quality of the.
Because Zeus was still there, which means he hadn't boned Hera.
I mean, he could have. Zeus is not dead.
No, yeah, but he didn't bone Hera yet. He bones Hera before. I don't even care about the timeline. This is not a
Anyway.
movie I care about the timeline. As a comic book movie, how'd it hit you?
Balls.
Nice.
You ever get hit with balls?
Yeah, get hit with balls. Which Justice League joke was this for you?
Oh, it was the too rich.
Oh, I'm rich,
I'm
I'm a
rich, bitch.
billionaire.
I wish he had said that. Dave Chappelle reference. Just go. all
Rich,
out.
bitch.
Yeah.
For me, I would give this the, yep, something's definitely bleeding joke. Like, it was like, all right. But I was really hoping it was a Pet Cemetery.
It was definitely not a pet cemetery.
It was not a Pet Cemetery.
Nobody laughed at that joke.
And you and I laughed. We're like, hey.
I'm like, man, you guys are dumb.
Joss Whedon's, I think, getting too old for these newer generations. All the old people were laughing at the I'm rich joke.
They remade it. So it's
Yeah.
not like Stephen King is so like out of the limelight or whatever.
Wait, what are you talking about?
No, I'm saying in general, Pet Sematary is made by Stephen King, and there's like 4 Pet Sematary movies.
Oh, really? I've only seen one.
Yeah,
Oh.
they made. I think there's at least 2 or 3.
Oh, shit. Oh, I didn't even know that. Because I was like, Stephen King, where the fuck is that coming from?
No, he wrote the book.
Hmm.
Stephen King's written like almost everything at
Yeah.
this point.
He's weird, dude. Maybe we'll do it. I don't want to.
No origin.
As a
scene.
regular movie, how did this do?
It's like a 5.
I give it a
5 or a 6.
I give it a 7. I had fun the first time. I enjoy it less when I think about it.
It's funny. I commented on like someone who was talking about the movie on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Man, it's too bad that Warner Brothers is considering not even doing these anymore, or selling it, because this movie was like all right in comparison. Like it feels like a step forward, definitely not a step back."
Mhm.
And this dude commented like, "A turd is still a turd," and I'm like,
Gotta love the
"This
people.
is why this is why I don't even want to bother anymore.
You're trying to like shed a new opinion.
Yeah, your contribution to my comment was a turd is still a turd. And I was like, well, it's like a 5 or 6. It wasn't like terrible. He's like, it's still a turd.
Gotta love the internet. But if you want to tell us what a turd is, please contact us on
Please
Source
don't
to
send
Screen.
us pictures of your turds.
No, don't do that. I'm sorry. That was a horrible segue. That was the worst. But please contact us. We have Source to Screen podcast at gmail.com. We have Instagram. We on the Twitter. I started Live Me and 30 people just started following, so that was kind of cool.
And then you quit it.
Well, the application quit. It said, oops, we lost connection.
Oops.
Oh, we're also listening to the Justice League original soundtrack, and it's actually kind of nice.
All right, let's wrap it up.
All right. Hey, what? I'm fucking ready to go. So, thanks for playing the game of our super long, delayed episode. But I think if we made it twice as long, that means that we don't have to do it for another week. Or that makes up for the lost time, at least.
Hardly. Love you guys.
Later, players.
Later, players.
I don't like bullies. I don't care where they're from.